I'm with Tom Doyle, the Chief Executive Officer of Yorkshire Mesmac. So Tom, where did Mesmac come from?
Well, Mesmac started in 1990. We were one of 4 projects across the country looking at how to prevent HIV infection amongst gay, bisexual and menoasexual men in England. So there are 4 pilot projects, one in Leeds, one in Leicester, one in London and one in Newcastle.
So that's sort of where you started, but now Mesmac is a much different organisation.
Sure.
So for people that may only know have only come into you for condoms,
Yep.
what sort of other projects do you actually do across the region?
Well, I guess the first thing to say is that we're an independent charity, and so we started off in Leeds, and in '93 we opened up a base in Bradford and in Wakefield and became Yorkshire Mesmac, and then we opened up a base in York and then North Yorkshire, most recently Hull, and in the next couple of months we'll be opening up a base in Rotherham. And I think you're right that most people think of Yorkshire Mesmac as a condom organisation, or sometimes a HIV testing organisation, and that's our bread and butter. And we're really, really passionate about sexual health and good sexual health. Our strapline is the best sex with the least harm. But we're a lot more than that. So we have a large mental health element to the work. We have in Bradford, for example, we have a great counselling service. It's overstretched and underfunded, but it's still there, and we're really very proud of it. And we're really proud about some of the innovations that service is able to develop. So, for example, the mindfulness groups that they run and group therapeutic sessions that they hold. And I think something that perhaps people aren't very aware of, that Yorkshire Mesmac doesn't just work with gay and bisexual men and other menoasexual men, that we work with the whole LGBT spectrum, and when we're able to, when we're the best place to do that, we deliver direct services. More often than not, we'll do that in partnership and support other groups to do that. Because what we do believe is that when people with a shared concern get together and reflect on that shared concern, they're able to come up with really creative solutions and take collective action to meet those concerns. And we think that's really, really, really important to us. So we've got the sexual health bit, we've got the mental health bit. We also have a very large child sexual exploitation project called BLAST, which is the only project of its kind in the country that works only with boys and young men. In fact, the BLAST conference was held today, the West Yorkshire CSE conference. So people are very tired from that very successful conference today. I guess what we're particularly interested in some of your viewers is some of our future work around trans communities in particular. You might not know that we support over 60 different LGBT groups across Yorkshire and Humber, with building space and mentoring, things like that. And what we're really concerned about, and have been for some time, is developing a real good offer for trans folk across West, North and South Yorkshire and East Yorkshire. Can't forget East Yorkshire. So we've begun a year-long process of listening and consulting and meeting with trans folk and other stakeholders to develop what we're calling a trans plan, which is kind of working title is Transforming Mesmac, to ensure that our work with trans communities is accessible, acceptable and appropriate, and that it's driven by community need, not by a imposed list of supposed needs. Mm-hmm. So it really, and that's really what we're about, is trying to reflect on need and meet those with our allies wherever we can.
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say that there are some in the community who see previous LGB charities moving into the trans side as quite a cynical sort of commercial ploy. But I will say that as we've been involved in some of the sort of early discussions with Mesmac about the trans plan, I have to say, as the chairperson of a trans organisation, that it's actually really nice to have an open dialogue. And it is actually, genuinely, I think Mesmac are listening to the needs of the trans community, and actually you do an awful lot for the trans community. And if anybody that's watching this isn't aware of that, then do get in touch with Mesmac and find out some of the groups and that you facilitate and help run.
First of all, thank you for really kind words about Mesmac and the trans community. I really hope that our offer is good. I don't think it's good enough, but I'm also really clear, and I know certainly the senior management team who are leading on this process, so there is commitment right from the top of the organisation that we don't have any skin in the game, that if someone else is better placed to deliver trans services across Yorkshire and Humber, we'd be delighted to do it. We've got plenty to be getting on with.
Yeah.
I hear what you say about, that fear of cynicism and about money grabbing, and I think that's a real concern. But I know certainly the senior management team and our board of trustees are really clear that it's something we want to see done. It doesn't need it for us we don't have to be the people to do it. So I want to be clear about that. In terms of the LGBT community across Yorkshire, I think it's patchy. I'm dead impressed with Bradford this year in terms of LGBT History Month and all the rest of it. Really, really upped his game. I was on Made in Leeds TV last week. Just drop that name, pick it up. And we're only ever supposed to talk about Leeds, as the name suggests. And I couldn't help talking about Bradford and LGBT History Month because it's really, really. I think it's the biggest LGBT History Month in terms of event in the country. Which is just amazing. I think sometimes someone once told me that the difference between somewhere like Yorkshire and Manchester is they visited Manchester and they had a plaque on the wall. No, they went to the Leeds Town Hall. There's a plaque on the wall. It said something like, this building was built by donations of workers in Leeds to build this town hall. Something like that. And on the plaque on the Manchester Town Hall, it says, birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. And it's like, actually, it's not then, but I do think that Leeds has a quiet dignity. Sorry, Yorkshire has a quiet dignity about it that I think is quite classy, actually. But the flip side of that is making sure that everybody in Yorkshire knows that groups like Transmission and Mesmac and other groups are around and the support's there for them. But I also think what Yorkshire's really good at is it doesn't astroturf organisations. The organisations that are here and have lasted, I've done that because they've got really deep community roots, and they don't forget that. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah. Okay. Tom, thanks for taking the time out. The entertainment is about to sort of wrap up, so I think we've got to go back in and no doubt Mesmac will be up for more awards. But thanks for talking to us on Transmission TV.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.